until the stunning time he said, "I'm not giving you any, oh, if I had any money, I'd give it to your brothers. Only boys need to go to college." There were many reasons why it was hard to forgive my dad. When I was 3 and we lived in Canada, he pushed me and my pregnant mom into the snow and shut the front door. Growing up in the United States, my memories are littered with his rages. A sister's black eye, another one's injured jaw, my brother's stereo smashed with a sledgehammer, or me kicked in a corner when I didn't clean the kitchen floor well enough. So many stories. They stretched like a list, like a painful dirge through our childhood. Or was it the words that hurt even more? The put-downs, the odd remarks. My best friend coming to the front door and him inquiring, "Who is that girl?" Or dropping me off at my first apartment and saying, as if it were true, "You have no friends." Well, when it was time to finally leave this broken nest, I thought education would be my way out. I was eligible for top colleges. But somehow he stood in my way at every turn, at first offering money and then withdrawing it, refusing to sign papers, fill out forms, until the stunning time he said, "I'm not giving you any, oh, if I had any money, I'd give it to your brothers. Only boys need to go to college." But I did get past that one. I found my own strength. I worked and put myself through school. And then the next cycle of our family began. I got married and had children. My siblings, one by one, also left home and got married and had their children. And my relationship with my father was reduced to the occasional trip home for the holidays. But still I dreaded seeing him, wondering each time what zinger he would say to land in my heart. Well, because he was implacable, I dealt with the damage that he'd caused with friends and therapists and by writing. A friend once held a pillow while I punched it and yelled. At a therapy group, they sat in a circle while I pounded the floor and cried. And a male therapist patiently listened, giving me an experience of a man who was kind and caring. A woman therapist affirmed it shouldn't have been that way, and she reinforced that I was no longer a victim. I was now part of a world of more reasonable adults. Well, then one Christmas, we gathered at my brother's house. He built a huge mansion for himself with beautiful sand-colored walls, stone walls. And each time I passed through this round turret that encircled his front door, I thought he's built a fortress for himself to keep himself safe, he and his family. This was the golden age of my family. 4 happy marriages, 10 grandchildren. On this Christmas, some baby was rocked by its mom, toddlers were tearing open presents, school-aged children were putting on a hilarious show in this huge entryway to the tune of, "Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on." Well, that year I had brought a book with me, and it was edited by my friend Claire. She's the one who my dad hadn't recognized at the door. She'd gone on to UC Santa Cruz and earned a PhD at Harvard, and now she was chair of the Slavic Literature Department at Northwestern. I told my dad all this as the book lay on a coffee table in front of us. The book was a translation of a Polish poet's work. It had won the Nobel Prize, and Claire had traveled to Stockholm to be with the poet when he accepted the prize. So as my dad and I looked at the book, it was on a glass coffee table in this sumptuous living room. There were the voices of the family in the other rooms, but for that moment, we were alone. And I said, referring to all those years of anguish and the years since then, I could have done something like that. And he paused and slowly said, I had no idea. And that was it. A world opened up. He had no idea. He had no idea how to be a father to 5 children. He had no idea how to live in a foreign country so different from his upbringing in rural Hungary. This was a land of new ideas, freer values, opportunities for everyone. Opportunity had brought him here, and he'd proudly raised 5 children, forged a career, built a small business with his wife. But he had no idea how to be a father or how to be an American. He was always still a foreigner with a foreign accent going to a Hungarian church. But in that one instance, with his few words, I have no idea, my pain melted. I saw him like a small child with challenges that had loomed too large. He had left his country when he was 17, never to return. He had no parents, no family, no familiar culture to support him as he made his way through adulthood and those challenges. In his attempt to instill order on the chaos of 5 children growing up, he always failed. Life brimmed up out of the containers that he tried to build. He raged against it, but to no avail. He inflicted wounds, but we all grew to leave him. So in that moment on Christmas, a window opened up for me and for him. I had tried so hard to get him to see me, to approve, to love, but I saw he had his limits, and he couldn't do what was beyond them. So in that moment, there was forgiveness. We were 2 adults looking at all that had come before. This didn't undo anything that had happened, but it helped me see it in a new way. And then I remembered, as a yoga teacher had said, she used to say at the end of her class, think about all that it was and all that it wasn't, and let it go. And that's what I did. I let go, and then I was ready for the next moment.